Welcome to episode 2 of our mini cut series. I'm Jessica.
I'm Courtney.
And today is our check-in day. So we're going to go over what I would normally do with my clients in a regular check-in. So it was our first week of our mini cut. How do you think it went? Well, for you anyways.
Well, there were 3 days I went over my calories. One was a lot, but the other 2 were just about by like 10 or 30 calories.
That's not bad at all.
But next week I'll do better.
No, I think that honestly, as long as you're within that 2 to 5% range, I guess I forgot to tell you that. It's okay if you're a little bit over or a little bit under, so long as it's only a 2 to 5% range. Well, we're gonna go into the data and kind of take a look, and I'll let you know how everything kind of went on my end. So what do you think went well this week? Like, what was one success?
What went well this week are the days that I didn't go over my calories. I was well under. So
Like
I
a
think
lot under, or
not a lot.
Okay,
No,
okay.
like the 2 to 5%
Okay.
range, I think.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then also figuring out, for me at least, I don't know a lot about food, and I'm one of those people that never ever cook. So just figuring out new meals and what has fiber, what has protein, all that jazz. That was a good part about this week. So I think that'll set precedent for the next 3.
Do you think it was easy to find new solutions, or harder, or frustrating?
At first I thought it was a little hard, because for me, I'm just like, meat is protein. So I bought ground beef, and then when I entered it into my fitness pal, it was a whole bunch of calories, and I was like, holy shit. Well, I guess I can't eat this. That was a waste of money. but yeah.
Yeah.
After
Did you
sorry,
get did you get extra lean ground beef or just normal ground beef?
I just got normal ground beef.
Okay, so if you get the extra lean ground beef, it's not as high of calories. I think about a half cup is around 120 to 150. But yeah, for next time, like, don't throw that meat out. I would just.
Oh, it's still in the fridge.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, just for next time, get the extra lean, because it has like almost half the calories that the full ground beef does.
All right.
What is another positive thing that happened this week?
Another positive thing that happened this week. Well, I lost more than 1.5 pounds.
Nice. COVID high five.
COVID.
Even though
As we're beside each other, yeah.
Now I'm just so used to the fucking elbow pound, whatever it is. That's awesome. And we're gonna go over your weight and stuff like that, but that's fantastic. So we might actually have to adjust your calories if you lost more than that.
Okay.
which is good. That means that you have a really good metabolism.
Yay.
And that it's not bad. What's something that is negative that happened this week?
Negative. I was really craving an iced coffee, so I sacrificed some calories to go get an iced coffee from Starbucks. So by the evening, I was starving.
Was it worth it?
It was not. I'm not getting an iced coffee until this is over. I went to bed hungry, and all I dreamt about was food, and I woke up thinking we were going to a buffet.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Disappointed to find out we weren't.
Yeah, it does. What I'll do this week is I'll show you like how to make an iced coffee with half the calories, and you'll probably actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it'll be a hell of a lot cheaper than going to Starbucks, because how much is your drink that you get?
$3.94. But also I screwed up one time and added $30 to my Starbucks card, so that's just sitting there.
Well, hopefully it doesn't expire.
Yeah.
Was there anything else negative that happened this week?
Nothing that comes to mind.
That's good. And like, how was your hunger throughout the week besides the one day that you... How many calories are in a Starbucks drink?
Well, I get iced coffees with milk, and I substitute normal syrup for vanilla syrup. And I think 1 pump of vanilla syrup is 10 calories each, and I get 7 pumps in. So I think my Starbucks drink is around 200 or so calories.
Shit.
Yeah.
And that's for, is it a venti?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of calories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can make one that's probably around like 60 calories.
Oh, damn. Yes.
So, yeah.
I would love that.
We'll do that. Besides that, how was your hunger on like a scale of 1 to 10?
So the first couple days, I was pretty hungry, but then I figured out a kind of a schedule to eat. Because I know that when I wake up in the mornings, I don't really have an appetite and don't eat until later in the day. So instead of having breakfast, I kind of push until a late lunch, and that way I can eat right before I go to bed and I'm not dreaming about food again. So yeah, I think when I was eating earlier in the day, it was making me really hungry by the time I went to sleep.
So you're practicing a little bit of what's called intermittent fasting. So it just means that you're limiting your fasting window. I do the same thing as well, where I don't start eating until about 1 or 2. The only thing with that one, you just want to make sure that depending on how long you're up for, that you're getting some protein in. So that's why I have the protein coffees in the morning, just to make sure that I'm getting my protein in, because the longer you go without protein, the more of a chance, especially in a calorie deficit, that you'll be at a higher chance of losing muscle mass. So if you're up, I want to say for more than 2 hours, it's probably a good idea to have some protein, whether that be like egg whites or even just an egg, or having a scoop of protein. Maybe like a Greek yogurt would also be a good option, something that's like low calories, but then you're getting at least some protein in.
All right.
So that'd be something that I would suggest adding in for next week. Just because, like I said, we're in a deficit, so you're at a way higher chance of losing muscle mass than you would be if you're just normally eating.
Okay.
But I was looking through your sheets, so like your protein is looking really good, and we'll kind of get into protein timing and stuff like that, which kind of reflects with that.
Okay.
How accurate do you think your tracking was this week?
I think, because I've read all of your posts about people who underestimate their calories, and I really don't want to do that. So I think I was really making sure that it was as accurate as it can be.
Nice, yeah. And you were even measuring she was weighing and measuring her vegetables, and I told her that, honestly, it's not a huge deal if you're not weighing or measuring your vegetables, just because they're so low in calories. So yeah, I think you're doing a really good job of just trying to like weigh everything and measure everything. So I want to say that it's pretty accurate.
I like that too.
How do you think your sleep was this week?
The first half of the week was pretty shitty. But then I started smoking weed and I've been able to pass out.
So did you not smoke weed the first part of the week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Were you just like trying to see?
Well, I was trying to quit in solidarity with you.
Oh.
But then I was like, no.
I like this.
Yeah.
Is that when you were having the weird dreams?
Yeah.
You weren't. Okay. Yeah, I know. Like as soon as you stop smoking weed, you just get these crazy ass dreams. At least I do, anyways. Well, I'm glad that you solved that issue. It's a good thing weed's legal and that you don't get munchies like I do. Yeah, before this I was smoking weed every night, and I love to smoke weed. It helps me unwind and actually sleep during the night. But I get really bad munchies, like 10 out of 10. Like, I'll go into the night maybe at like 1,000 calories, and then I end the night with, ending up at 5,000 calories. So during a cut, obviously I need to get rid of weed. And you'll actually see in my data the days that I did smoke weed. And I'll show you how I kind of made up for that. How was your energy? Did I already ask that?
Yeah, we asked
Okay.
that first video, but I will answer again. It has not changed. I think it's been pretty good. Yeah.
That's good. No, that's really good. Like I said, in the first video, usually you'll see your energy start to dip, being at lower calories. But like we had talked about, you're probably just eating better. Now that you're smoking weed again, you're getting more sleep, and you're just drinking more water. So I think that you're gonna see a positive. When you eat right and you drink water and you sleep well, your energy is going to increase even though your calories are in a lower state. There we go. So how do you think your workouts went this week?
They went really good. I'll try to make it tougher next week. I was just kind of stepping into it.
That's good.
Again?
It's still your first week.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of see where you're at, because it's been, well, I guess you're working out before.
Just not as consistently. But everything felt great, and it makes me excited.
That's good.
To finish this block. My last program was not consistent at all. I think I had it for probably 6 months, and it was only supposed to be a month.
I mean, at least you finished it. Most people would have just been like, oh, screw this, I'm just gonna do something else. I mean, that's what I would have done. And then I think you had a PR on your bench, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yay! I just want to hit the greens. I know that's not a lot, but
You're almost there.
almost there.
So close. And like with training and dieting, some people have you can see a strength decrease. So for me, since I'm in a big calorie deficit, I saw a huge hit in my strength last week, and it could have been from sleep, or I was on my period last week, or lifestyle factors. But I decided it was probably not the best time to be in more of a strength phase. So I decided to change up my training this week. So now I'm into more of like a bodybuilding style, less exertion. By that I mean I'm not lifting as heavy, just because it's going to really piss me off if I'm not able to do what I normally do. And I always see like a huge strength decrease whenever I diet. And that just goes to show you that if you're in a huge calorie deficit and you're not a beginner lifter, like you'll see progress like with your lifting probably for like months. I want to say like at least 4 months, just because you're a new lifter. Versus I'm experienced, I've been doing this for over 6 years, and like I'm just gonna see it right away. And usually if I was to go into a normal dieting phase, my calories wouldn't be this low, my strength wouldn't see such a huge decrease, because you can definitely get stronger while you're cutting. It's just we're in such a big deficit that it's not worth it. Now side tangent off. All right. So in closing, what would you like to work on this coming week?
This coming week, I want to work on, again, increasing my fiber a little bit more. I am reaching my goal, but you wanted it greater than 25 grams, you said? So I've been hitting like 25 or 26.
That's still pretty good, especially with the calories that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say even like 25 is just like that very high end. So even if you're hitting 20 grams, I'd still be pretty happy about that. But
oh yeah, I did have a question.
Yeah.
There was one day, the day that I got my iced coffee and had to sacrifice some calories. I was pretty close to my goals, but wasn't there for protein or fiber. Would you say go over calories to hit those goals, or stay in a deficit and just wait till the next day to hit the goals for that?
I'd rather you just stay in your deficit and not try and hit your protein goal. If you are starving, so the day that you got Starbucks, if you're hungry, honestly, like have something that has protein in it, like have a chicken breast, because that one, so protein is a higher TEF, so thermic effect of food. Protein is around 20%, so your body burns 20% of its energy trying to process protein, versus carbs are at 3 to 5%. Fat is around 0 to 2%. So if you're going to have any macronutrient, protein would be the one to go to, because you're not going to see such a huge hit. Yeah, you just wouldn't see as big of a hit with your calories. So if that ever happens again, like have a protein shake, or chicken breast, or even just some egg whites, would be a good option. But yeah, don't ever go over calories to make up for your lack of protein. There we go. So your goal this coming week is to...
I'm going to continue to learn more about foods. I think by day 3, I was like, oh, this is so easy. I'm just going to keep doing the same things every day. No, by day 3, I was really sick of what I was eating. And I started Googling a whole bunch of stuff in different meals. And yeah, I think I'm just going to work on figuring out the best meals, the most optimal meals, lowest calories, highest amount of fiber or protein. And yeah, that's what I'm going to work on.
Nice, that's awesome. And if you need any suggestions or anything, feel free to also ask, and then we can go over the suggestions in our next video.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is that.
Check you later. Check you later.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that out.
Catch up with you later.
Okay, so now we're gonna go into the data. So I'm gonna pull up Courtney's, and then I'm gonna pull up mine, and I'm just gonna kind of go over her data, like what I actually analyze, give her some suggestions for this coming week, and then we'll go over mine because there was a few obstacles that I went over that are good to showcase to everybody else. So we'll see you there. All right, we are here with Courtney's data. So this is what I have of my clients. I'm going to show two different things two different ways of tracking. So this one is through an app. It's all automated. It connects with MyFitnessPal, and then I get to see it. The second one is the one that I'm going to do for myself. This is my old way of tracking with my clients. So I do have two different methods depending on how much you want to go into depth with tracking. So looking at Courtney's data here, so we're looking at calories. So our goal this week was 1519. So Monday, like you said, you're a little bit higher. Nothing to be too worried about, especially since it was your first day. Second day, pretty much on point. Wednesday, a little bit on the lower side, but not too much, like within that 5% range. Thursday, you're a little bit over. Is that the Starbucks day?
Yeah.
And then Friday, pretty much spot on. Well, Saturday, very spot on. And yesterday, really spot on.
Yeah.
One, literally to the 0.79. So calories are looking really good. I wish this took an average. All right, so for your average, your compliance to calories were at 101%. So that's awesome.
Woo!
Good work.
I'm an overachiever.
That you are. So going back, sorry, just doing an average to compliance. Going back, not too worried about your carbs, so we're not going to talk too much about carbs. Carbs are essentially your energy, so you just want to make sure that you're carved up for your workouts, which you have been, so I haven't had to say anything about that. Going down to your fats, I did look over it earlier, and I can't remember, did I give you a fat goal?
No.
Okay, so for fats, so for most clients, I'll usually just give them a calorie goal and a protein goal. You're going to kind of see where their normal range would fall into. Because I don't want to say that you're going to be someone that likes more carbs or someone that likes fats, and that's why I leave out the carbs and fats. Second of all, they don't really matter too much right now. Protein, carbs, and fats do make up your calories, so there could be a discrepancy between the two when they add up, which I'll show in mine. Just because sometimes in the app they'll take calories out for fiber, or it's just logged incorrectly in the database, and that's why tracking can be inaccurate, because obviously you're pulling up someone else's data and you just get it has to be accurate, and if it's not accurate, then it's you're short of luck. So going back to your fats, so your calorie goal is sitting at 1519. So if I was to pull up a calculator, so 1519. So the lowest you want your fats is at 20%. So that comes out to 303.8 calories. That must come from fat. So fat is an essential fat is an essential macronutrient. Your body needs it to function on a cellular basis versus carbs. Your body doesn't need it. You'll essentially move from utilizing carb sources to fat storages, and that's where the ketogenic diet that's why ketogenic is so popular right now. Anyways, so 20% of 1519. So this is the lowest that you should be going for your fat. To figure out what it is in grams, you're going to divide that by 9. And that comes out to, so this is the lowest that you should have for your fats. And I totally forgot to mention that because I didn't even think about that. But usually with my clients that I do nutrition coaching with, it's always a calorie goal, a protein goal, a fiber goal, and also a recommended fat, and also in between with carbs. For you, I just wanted to kind of see where you're at, and I didn't really think about the fat. So looking back, so let's just round that up to 34 grams. So you need to make sure that you're hitting 34 grams of fat. So if we look through, Monday was good, Tuesday was good, Wednesday a little bit on the lower side, Thursday was good, Friday was good, Saturday was the low day. That's the one that I saw. But it looks like you're hitting within the normal range. You usually have a lot of eggs, so that definitely helps bump you up. I wonder what you're eating on Saturday that was a little bit lower. But anyways, I was still looking throughout the week, so I didn't see anything of concern. And then obviously I pulled it up today, and I was like, oh shit, I should have mentioned about Saturday, or sorry, not Saturday, but like the low end of fats. And then your protein. So I have you set at 110 grams, so a little bit low on your first day. I mean, you still did really good considering most people like protein is such a hard thing to get. And then Tuesday, you're good. Wednesday, really good, really high, which is a good thing. Protein helps keep you fuller for longer, alongside as fiber does. So having more protein in your diet is going to keep you a lot fuller. Thursday was still good, even though you had your iced coffee that day. Friday was a little bit lower. Was it Friday that you had the iced coffee, or Thursday?
Thursday.
I thought it was Thursday.
Yeah.
What happened on Friday?
I have no idea.
So Friday was a little bit lower, but nothing to be concerned of. It's still around 81 grams. If it got below 60 grams, then I'd be a little bit more concerned. Saturday was really good, and then Sunday was also really good. So as a macro distribution, everything looks really good.
Oh, maybe it was Friday, because that's when I walked to the school for my iced coffee.
Okay. Yeah. Your calories are pretty good. What's on your spot on? Thursday was a little bit higher. Weird. Maybe you're just like, I'm just gonna start myself. So I just wanted to do a quick video because I'm not too sure if we filmed it or if it just got lost in the editing process. I'm still not very good at this. Hopefully this will get better as we go along. Anyways, so Courtney is just working on coming up with new meal ideas so she doesn't get bored with how she's eating. And my recommendation for her, she had a really good week. There's not too much I would change besides making sure that she's hitting her recommended fat. And then we did look at her micronutrients, her vitamins, and we noticed that her potassium was sitting quite low. And at the start of the week, her vitamins were pretty low, but then she incorporated some fiber and those vitamins shot right up. But the only thing that she's missing out right now is just some potassium, and I gave her some food choices to increase that. So adding in some potatoes, some beans, legumes, maybe some nuts. So she's gonna work on that this week. Other than that, she did fantastic this past week, so there's not a whole lot that I would recommend that she would change. All right, I just wanted to go over how my week went. So a positive that happened was I was able to average out my calories for the week. Same thing with all of my macronutrients. I think I was over in my carbs and my fats a little bit. Nothing too major in that regard. Something that didn't go so well, I was very inconsistent in hitting my actual calories and my carbs and my fats. I went way over on Friday and Saturday because I decided it would be a good idea to try and smoke weed. Thankfully, I didn't eat as much as I normally would, but it was I still had to make up for the calories that I consumed on Friday and Saturday. So this week I just want to work on just kind of keeping a consistent I just want to work on keeping my calories consistent, my macros consistent as best as I can. My hunger this week was normal. I wasn't overly hungry except for obviously the days that I smoked weed. My energy has been pretty decent, even though my sleep has suffered quite a bit because I am not smoking weed anymore. Hello. And a downfall that happened, as you diet, you might experience a loss of strength in the gym. Usually if you're conservative with your deficit, you're not going to see too much of a strength decrease. If anything, you should actually see your strength improve. But I'm in a 931 calorie deficit right now, so that is almost twice as much as I would recommend my clients to do. And that's why I'm only doing 4 weeks of this, because I'm going to see a huge decrease in strength. My muscle mass is going to be lost. I'm going to suffer metabolically. So that's why we're only doing 4 weeks. And I figured that it's only 4 weeks. I can change up my program in the meantime. So right now I'm just following a bodybuilding split, which is challenging. I'm not used to having to do so many reps, so my endurance is pretty shitty right now, but it's fun to change things up. And then once this is over, I'm going to be doing another mini series of how to properly get out of a diet as well. So by then I should hopefully have a strength increase and then start making PRs again in the gym. But until then, I've just decided to change up my programming because I'm just going to get really frustrated if I continue. So going forward for this week, my goal is to just stay a little bit more consistent. I'm going to probably pick a day that I include booze, either this week or next week, just to show you guys how to incorporate alcohol into the diet that you're doing and how to properly do that. All right, let's go head over and take a look at my data, and I can kind of show you what happened and how I made up for it. We'll see you there. All right, so I'm just gonna go over my data and how this past week went. So as you can see, Monday and Tuesday it's a little bit lower. Wednesday, so my goals are right here. Wednesday, I was good with my calories, and then I kind of swapped between protein and carbs. And then Thursday wasn't as bad, and then you can see Friday and Saturday, those are the 2 days that I smoked weed. And then Sunday, I had to make up for those 2 days. Luckily, I didn't eat as many calories on Monday and Tuesday, so then Sunday wasn't as bad. So with my clients, what I usually tell them to do is just kind of ignore what happened the day before and just kind of carry on. But since we're doing a mini cut, this is, only 4 weeks. I need to make up those calories. Had I gone over, 200 or 300 more calories, I probably would have just scratched it and maybe hit this number, but not as low as it would have been to actually make up for it. So if we slide down here, my scroller is not working for some reason. I'm gonna put myself up there. And so compliance to calories, I was at 100%. Protein was 113. Carbs at 93. So as you can see, I kind of swap between protein and carbs. I prefer to have a little bit of higher protein because it keeps me fuller for longer. So I'll usually just switch between pull from carbs or from protein, dependent on the day. Because they are 4 calories per gram, so they're easy to switch between. As you can see, I was a little bit over on my fats, and that would have been from Friday and Saturday. And then my fiber was really good. So I just wanted to kind of showcase why it's important to kind of do a weekly average. As you can tell, my weight fluctuated a lot. So we were trending down. Friday was really good, and then boom, Saturday hit. I was sitting 3 pounds heavier. So someone would get on the scale and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just gained 3 pounds. I can't believe I just gained 3 pounds of body fat in one day." That wasn't the case. What had actually happened was, obviously, I had like 500 more calories than what I did the previous day. But as you can see, my carbs were up by 100 grams, and carbohydrates store water. So a lot of this is water weight. Not only that, my fiber increased by over 20 grams, and that's going to be sitting in my stomach as well. And that's why you can see that even though I had a high day on Saturday, my weight was kind of back down a little bit, not too much. And then on Monday, I don't have it here, but I actually finished, I weighed in on Monday at 153.9. So then I was back down to my normal. So right there, my average is sitting at 154.78. If I add in, so the first day that I started, I was actually sitting at 159, which is a false reading. I ate a lot the day before, and I was also drinking on the weekend, so a lot of it was water weight, a lot of it was still food that was sitting in my system, so I wanted to leave that out just because it wasn't a true representation of what my weight was actually sitting at. I want to say my weight was probably sitting around 156 starting off, and not the 155, just because I didn't eat that much on Monday. So I'm just going to throw in and show you guys what it changes for the average. So it's sitting at 154.7. Adding that in is sitting at 154.6. So not a huge difference, but if I was to put in the 159.1 that I weighed in at the start of the week, my average went up, obviously. So I'm just going to leave both of those out, and I'm just going to set the average at that. Another thing that I wanted to kind of go over is you'll see a weight increase too with sodium. So I went from having 3,500 to 6,300. So that's also going to add into this number as well. Now, I do like to track sodium with my clients. However, if you're using calorie-free sauces like mustard and hot sauce, this number is not going to be accurate. I think in 1 teaspoon of hot sauce, there's a shit ton of sodium, and same thing with mustard as well. So I do still keep track of this. I usually have about the same amount of mustard and hot sauce per day though. So I can tell by my weight, usually if I've had a little bit higher sodium in throughout my normal diet. And then another thing that I also like to track is just my move calories and my steps. As you diet, your body becomes more efficient. So it's very common to see your activity levels drop just because your body is just trying to conserve energy. So that's why I like to track my steps, is to kind of just hold myself accountable, especially if I don't see the numbers changing the next week. It's always best to look at your activity levels first, before you're looking at dropping your calories. Other than that, I think that's about it. I'm happy with how my weight is looking. Today I weighed in at, today is Tuesday that I'm filming this, and I weighed in at 152.9. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to leave everything exactly where it is. I might change out my protein and my carbs. So I might do 160 grams of protein and drop down my carbs to 115 grams. And yeah, I'm going to still keep at that 1806 mark and see how this next week goes. All right, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.